Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel General Hospital Official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers, Drew and Willow jeopardize Michael's recovery. Does medical proxy blackmail go too far? According to General Hospital spoilers, the drama reached an all-time high during the week of January 6th, but is expected to rise even higher this week, January 13th. Not only was Michael Corinthos fighting for his life after catching fire after Sonny Corinthos' penthouse explosion, but Willow Corinthos' treachery strained relations with his family. After all, when Michael was in anguish from third-degree burns, she was off doing the deed with her newfound lover, Drew Quartermaine, in Washington, D.C., leaving Wiley Corinthos unattended in the next room. This is why, when Diane Miller approached Carly Spencer with the idea of filing a petition to take Wiley and Amelia Corinthos from their mother, she was delighted to offer her permission. Unfortunately, when Willow discovered what had transpired, she had a complete breakdown. Nina Reeves offered an emergency hearing, but it would take at least a week, and Willow felt she couldn't live without her children for another instant. Drew came up with the notion of dangling Willow's medical proxy over Michael and using it as a bargaining tool to force Carly to backtrack on her custody decision. At the end of the Friday, January 10th GH episode, just as Carly and Sonny were discussing Michael's long-term rehabilitation care with the physicians, Willow commanded everyone to halt and reminded them of who was in charge of this going forward. Still, with Drew in her ear, could this delay or impair Michael's recovery? Willow and Drew are definitely not looking out for Michael's best interests. Willow's hardball tactics may wind up harming Michael's chances. Would she delay treatment until the children are restored to her? What happens if Carly refuses to budge? While Carly despises the concept of Willow dictating Michael's treatment options, she is confident that Willow would not allow Michael to suffer. What if she calls Willow's bluff? What if Drew persuades Willow to hold firm and not take any action until Wiley and Amelia are returned to her custody? General Hospital spoilers say that Drew has been aggressively manipulating Willow for months, so anything is possible. That being said, Michael's life and well-being are on the line, so if anything bad happens to him as a result of this, Carly, Sonny, and Jason Morgan will be held accountable. General Hospital spoilers, Michael's fate has far-reaching consequences for all of Port Charles. According to General Hospital teasers, Michael was injected with digitalis through his IV this week, leaving us with a frightening cliffhanger. Cyrus Renaud was the one who administered it to him. The question is whether Michael will survive this fatal dose, and how his destiny will impact the rest of Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers, Michael Corinthos is soon to be exiting the show with Michael's departure approaching. Viewers are wondering what his fate will be. How will his wife, Willow, and uncle, Drew, be affected? Now that Michael has filed for divorce and sole custody of his children, and Drew and Willow are officially married, Michael's departure from the canvas will undoubtedly have a significant impact on both of them, as well as Michael's family members, especially his parents, Sonny and Carly. GH spoilers, Sasha Corbin is carrying Michael Corinthos' baby. Before Michael was injured in the fire at Sonny's penthouse, Sasha informed him that she was pregnant with his kid, which she intends to keep. Michael has agreed not to claim paternity for the child as long as Sasha remains in Port Charles. How will Michael's destiny influence Sasha's decision not to claim Michael as her baby's father? Sasha and Jason have recently crossed paths. Will Jason claim paternity for her baby? Jason has always been on Michael's side, stepping forward and claiming to be his father before he was born. If it was necessary, Jason would take the initiative and declare himself the father of Sasha's child. GH teasers, Michael Corinthos will be in a coma. General Hospital teasers indicate that Michael's return will be possible. Perhaps Cyrus' stunning deed will prompt Dr. Isaiah Gannon to place Michael in a medically induced coma? Perhaps Michael will be sent to a long-term care center to address his serious burn injuries. The answer is highly likely. It would keep Michael off the canvas until the show is ready to recast the part, or if Chad Duell changes his mind and wishes to reprise the role. General Hospital spoilers, Willow Corinthos will play dirty. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Willow will exploit her position as Michael's wife to maintain custody of her children. She will attempt to persuade Carly to withdraw her custody claim against Willow and Michael's children, Wiley and Amelia. Willow, with Drew by her side, will do all it takes to keep her children. Can Carly outmaneuver her? Diane Miller is well known for her aggressiveness as an attorney. She could have something up her sleeve that can put an end to Willow's plans. Spoilers, what do you think? Do you believe Michael will survive the new attempt on his life? Do you think Sasha will tell Jason the truth about the pregnancy? Will Willow win custody of her children and take on Carly? A devastating blast. Michael Corinthos had been seated in the penthouse living room, browsing through his phone, his face lighted by the screen's soothing glow. It was a rare moment of calm, one he hadn't enjoyed in weeks, amidst the upheaval of his family's drama. However, the ticking sound that suddenly filled the room broke the idea of safety. Before Michael could react, an explosion swept through the penthouse, tossing him across the room like a rag doll. Flames kissed his garments and skin, destroying everything in their path. Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan were standing in the hallway discussing an impending threat to the Corinthos empire when they were knocked off their feet by the sheer intensity of the bomb. When they regained consciousness, they were confronted with a nightmare scenario. Smoke billowed through the smashed windows, and the pungent fragrance of burning fabric and wood filled the air. Michael lay lifeless in the debris, his body severely charred. A family in turmoil. The hospital became a second home for the Corinthos family as Michael's life hung in the balance. Doctors worked valiantly to stabilize him, but he sustained terrible injuries. Burned over a large area of his body, his recuperation would be protracted and painful. Carly Spencer was devastated to see her son in such a vulnerable state. She hadn't felt this helpless since the awful death of Morgan years ago. "This is on you, Sonny," Carly exclaimed, her voice shaking with rage and despair. "How many more of our children must suffer because of your world?" Sonny, despite being obviously affected, refused to let Carly's remarks penetrate the mob armor he had built up over decades. "I didn't plant that bomb, Carly," he said. "But you're correct, this happened because of me. I will fix it. You cannot solve this." Carly snapped, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Michael's life will never be the same, and for what? Your empire? Your pride?" Memories of Morgan. The explosion evoked bitter memories of Morgan Corinthos, who had perished in a vehicle bombing years before. Carly had barely survived the loss of her son, and now she faced the prospect of losing Michael as well. It was a horrible turn of events that sparked every unresolved trauma she had hidden deep within. Jason, ever the quiet supporter, attempted to offer relief. "Michael is strong, Carly. He is a fighter, just like Morgan was." "Don't say his name," Carly said, her voice rough with anguish. "I cannot lose another son, Jason. I will not." But the thought lingered, what would happen to Sonny if Michael died? Carly couldn't ignore the feeling that being connected to Sonny's perilous world had cost her family more than it was worth. Carly's next move. Carly's anguish quickly gave way to determination. She was not going to sit idly by as her family faced yet another catastrophe. If Sonny's world was the root of their anguish, she would do all in her ability to cut him out of her life entirely. As Michael fought for his life, Carly began to strategize. She spoke with her lawyer about pursuing full custody of Donna, her little daughter, with Sonny. The explosion had made it clear she couldn't risk losing another child to Sonny's reckless behavior. But she wasn't the only one with an interest in Sonny's family. Ava Jerome, the mother of Sonny's other daughter, Avery, also had some complaints. Carly recognized an opportunity to establish an odd alliance. If they banded together, they might be able to take authority of their children away from Sonny once and for all. The shadow of Jack Brennan. Meanwhile, Jack Brennan, Carly's recent confidant and potential love interest, seizes the opportunity to get closer to her. He gave her comfort, understanding, and a sense of security that Sonny never could. But Jason Morgan, ever vigilant and protective, was not convinced. He'd never trusted Jack, and now since Carly was weak, he felt Jack had ulterior motivations. "You need to be careful with him," Jason told Carly one evening in the hospital. "He's not who he seems." Carly dismissed his concerns. "Jason, you don't need to babysit me. Jack has been there for me in ways that Sonny never was." "Just don't let your guard down," Jason said, his tone low and serious. For Michael's sake, if nothing else. Michael's fight for survival. Michael's condition remained perilous as Carly contemplated her next move. The doctors talked in guarded tones, and their reports provided little confidence. But Michael was a Corinthos, and Corinthoses don't go down easily. Against all odds, he began to show signs of progress. The news provided a little reprieve for his family, but it also renewed tensions between Carly and Sonny. "We have to be there for him, together," Sonny pleaded. Carly crossed her arms and fixed her gaze. "I will always be there for Michael." "What about you?" "You have done enough." Jason Morgan's lifestyle. Jason's life depicts a man who has little material cares. From flying by private plane to wearing bespoke leather coats and owning a motorcycle that turns heads, his lifestyle exudes opulence. However, Jason's stern manner and detached attitude toward worldly belongings make his apparent prosperity all the more surprising. Jason, unlike many others in Port Charles, does not brag about his wealth, nor does he aggressively pursue activities that appear to necessitate a large sum of money, at least on the surface. The speculation about his wealth reached a fever pitch during a casual moment at the Corinthos estate. Following a late-night discussion with Sonny, Jason casually revealed having just got off a private plane. It was a passing observation, but it piqued the interest of those in attendance. How can someone who spends the majority of his time dealing with mob-related threats afford such luxuries? A network of legitimate ventures. Despite the shadows that surround Sonny's company, it does have respectable companies. Corinthos Coffee is one such venture, an upscale company that distributes premium coffee around the region. Jason, as Sonny's second-in-command, has a vested interest in its operations, and it's no secret that the coffee business is profitable. Jason also co-owns Charlie's Pub, a neighborhood bar. Nestled in the heart of Port Charles, it serves as a community hub and a reliable source of income. These ventures are completely legal, giving Jason an air of legitimacy. Despite the fact that these businesses have joined forces, there is still some uncertainty. Could coffee and bar tabs alone afford private aircraft, luxurious vehicles, and the seemingly limitless resources Jason uses throughout his adventures? The numbers do not quite add up. The hidden wealth of the Corinthian Empire. Jason's riches appears to originate from more than just these respectable businesses. Sonny's organization, however cloaked in secret, engages in high-risk operations that generate significant income. From controlling territory to brokering transactions that assure the safety of his enterprises, Sonny has developed an empire that generates considerably more cash than is evident to the public. As Sonny's right hand, Jason is definitely aware of these financial rewards. While he may not actively manage the accounts, his loyalty and indispensable status are likely to result in large remuneration. It's possible that Jason has a discretionary money set aside for emergencies, travel, and other job-related expenses. A mystery that goes deep. Despite these possible sources of income, Jason's financial independence remains a mystery. He does not own showy houses or rich art collections, and he is not known to indulge in excess. Instead, Jason's spending appears practical, with an emphasis on the equipment and resources required to complete his work efficiently. This inconsistency has generated skepticism among Port Charles locals. Some see Jason's fortune as a reflection of his calm efficiency, a man who invests carefully and avoids needless expenditure. Others speculate that there may be hidden accounts or assets linked to the Corinthos name. Potential for drama. This financial riddle is ripe for investigation. Consider a scenario in which Jason's financial relationships are investigated. Perhaps a rival party or perhaps police enforcement begins to investigate the sources of his money, revealing a trail that may lead to the Corinthos organization. This could compel Jason to face not only his business transactions, but also his place in Sonny's empire. Alternatively, a storyline may revolve around Jason's unanticipated financial problems. What if a crucial account associated with his lawful enterprises was frozen, forcing him to face the obstacles of running his business without access to funds? The friction between his commitment to Sonny and his newfound vulnerability would lend a new dimension to his character. A reflection on Jason's character. At its root, Jason's riches is more than simply numbers, it reflects his unique position in Port Charles. He is a man who lives in the gray zones, negotiating the moral difficulties of devotion, responsibility, and justice. His financial mystery highlights his enigmatic nature, which is a blend of simplicity and elegance that keeps spectators interested. Jason Morgan's life is one of contrasts, luxury and peril, devotion versus selfish gain. Whether his riches becomes a primary subplot or stays an intriguing subtext, it demonstrates the complexity of his character and the attractiveness of Port Charles in general. For the time being, the issue remains, how much does Jason Morgan actually have, and does he care? A sudden descent into chaos. The silence of the hospital hallways was broken by the gentle buzz of medical monitors and muted conversations. Jason remained immobile outside Michael's room, his mouth tight and his gaze locked on the closed door. Inside, Michael lay in a precarious state, his body covered in burns that appeared to have sapped his vitality. Dr. Portia Robinson spoke softly but firmly as she described the unpleasant reality. "Michael's in shock," Portia murmured quietly, her tone tinted with professionalism and compassion. "He is on the highest dose of morphine we can safely deliver. Keeping him sedated is the best option for now. The pain is too intense for him to remain conscious." Jason nodded solemnly, the weight of her words weighing against him like an iron cloak. He was a man of action, but in this moment, all he could do was stand guard. Family fractures. In the hospital chapel, the anxiety was evident. Carly sat with her hands clasped together and her eyes closed in silent prayer. Drew entered, his presence laden with unsaid accusations. "You brought him into this world of chaos," Drew stated bitterly, breaking the silence of the sanctuary. "Carly, Michael is in the burn unit because of you. You brought Sonny into his life, and now he is paying the price." Carly's eyes widened, her words filled with rage and anguish. "How dare you say that? Michael is in anguish, and you think this is the time to blame me?" Drew's expression stiffened. "This is not the first time Sonny's environment has harmed him. You took Michael away from AJ, stating it was for his best interests, but it was always for your own." Carly's face reddened with wrath. "You are in no position to preach to me. Not after what you did to Willow in the nursery." Drew flinched, but did not back down. "Carly, what Willow and I have is real. More authentic than anything we've ever had. And you are aware of this." "Good," Carly spit. "You did me a favor by walking away." Confrontations in the hallways. Jocelyn's voice was sharp when she cornered Willow in the corridor. "You have a tendency to fall for any man who plays the hero, don't you? What happens when the next one comes around?" Willow's voice remained firm, but her eyes revealed her tiredness. "I love Michael, Joss. I always have and will." Joss scoffed. "Right. That explains why you slept with Drew in the nursery. Classy." Before Willow could react, Nina appeared, her tone chilly as she entered. "That is enough, Joss. Leave my daughter alone." Joss smirked. "She is your daughter, all right. A liar, like you." Willow looked away, tears in her eyes, and the dispute ended in silence. Sonny's plea. Sonny was alone on the hospital roof, his face angled toward the darkening sky. "Morgan," he said softly, his voice shaking. "Son, I need your aid. Look after your brother. Keep him secure." Isaiah, one of the hospital's dedicated doctors, came out of the shadows. "Sometimes I come up here to think too," he replied softly. Sonny glanced to him, his face filled with concern. "What are Michael's chances?" Isaiah's look was compassionate yet cautious. "He has significant burns. We are doing all we can. However, you must also care for yourself, Sonny. The love you have for your children will help you get through this." In the shadows. The beeping monitors in Michael's room created a rhythmic sound that permeated the sterile air. Cyrus, clothed in scrubs, moved stealthily. He loomed over Michael's unconscious body, his lips moving in a silent prayer. "It's time to put an end to your suffering," he said, grabbing a syringe from his pocket. He slowly injected the contents into Michael's fur bag. Lines are drawn. The Corinthos family had gathered outside Michael's room, the tension evident. Willow arrived, her face paler but resolute. "I'm his wife," she said firmly. "From now on, I will make the medical decisions. The doctors should only report to me." Sunny and Carly exchanged astonished stares, but before they could react, Drew came with Nina. "Willow," Drew said, his tone measured. "We'll work everything out, but you should be prepared. Carly is already making arrangements to take custody of your children." Willow's eyes widened with panic. "What? That is something she cannot accomplish. My children depend on me." Nina put a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "We'll battle this, but you need to be calm. Defying the court order will not help. Secrets and clues." Down the corridor, Jocelyn approached Brennan with frustration and curiosity. "You said you had news about Dex," she asked. Brennan nodded. "I pulled a few threads. I received a list of witnesses from Rice Plaza on the day Dex was stabbed." "Start there." Joss looked down the list and spotted a familiar name. "Felicia," she said under her breath. Joss set the stage when he confronted Felicia in the cafeteria. "Think back to that day. Who was present? What did you see?" Felicia grimaced as her recollection stirred. "The bell," she remarked abruptly. "I remember the sound of a bell stopping just before it happened. The fight for Michael." Back in the chapel, Carly kneeled by Sunny, her voice breaking. "Drew blames me for everything. He claims I failed Michael." Sunny put a soothing touch on her shoulder. "Carly, no one has the right to judge. We've both made errors, but we've always done what we believed was best for our children. We will confront this together, as a family." General Hospital spoilers: did Brennan's agent, Colette, provide the WSB explosive that blew up Sunny's penthouse? General Hospital teasers imply that something is wrong with Colette Moreau. In general, WSB agents can be shady, leaving viewers wondering if they are working for the heroes or the villains, but Jack Brennan's partner has truly been acting up. Recent red flags include her role as a sniper attempting to shoot down Valentine Cassadine while in Prague. Colette was first assigned on a mission to follow Lulu Spencer in the hopes that she would lead them to Valentine. However, when she ended up shooting Valentine, even Brennan questioned her motivation. Colette stated that her bullets at Valentine were for damage control once PCPD officer Dante Falconeri arrived on the scene, but many are still suspicious. Fast forward to the week of January 6th to 10th, when GH fans were taken aback by the events that unfolded. Sunny Corinthos' penthouse was destroyed, and Michael Corinthos was caught in the crossfire, becoming a victim of the entire incident. Michael caught fire and is now battling for his life in the hospital. The gadget used to cause the explosion, however, is perhaps the most confusing aspect of the incident. It detonated without leaving any incriminating evidence for the cops to even imagine who was behind it all. In truth, fans were only provided one piece of information: the device was invented by the WSB. So, how did it end up being used against Sunny? When Brennan spoke to Colette about the explosion and how he became involved in the inquiry, he made it plain that gathering further information was his assistant's top priority. Colette mentioned that the device was classified and wondered if its files had leaked. Still, it's difficult not to suspect that she knows more than she's giving on. Colette is a new character, so it's unclear whether she's being honest and trustworthy or has an agenda, but her demeanor suggests that she's hiding something. Fans can't help but suspect Jen Sidwell is responsible for Sunny's penthouse explosion. After all, isn't it a coincidence that he moved into Windmere on the same day? Still, the logic for his actions is unclear. Sidwell appears to be more determined to exact revenge on Lucky Spencer, Jason Morgan, and Sasha Corbin just because she is Holly Sutton's daughter. But it doesn't mean he doesn't intend to take over Sunny's mob territory in Port Charles, which could explain why he did it. If he caused the explosion, how did he get access to the device? Could Colette be a corrupt WSB agent? Was she the person who unlawfully sold it to Sidwell? Are they in collusion? Do they have a professional or romantic history together? There is so much we don't know about Sidwell or Colette right now. According to General Hospital teasers, additional information will be revealed to fans in the coming days and weeks. Everyone's primary emphasis right now is on ensuring Michael overcomes his critical condition and begins to heal. Once Sonny has moved on from this main concern, he may begin to focus on who is responsible for his penthouse explosion, and it will be interesting to see if Colette was involved. Monica Quartermaine, the actress who played Leslie Charleson on General Hospital, has died at 79. General Hospital brings some terrible news in the realm of Port Charles, as actress Leslie Charleson, who played Monica Quartermaine, died on the morning of Sunday, January 12 at the age of 79. Frank Valentini, GH's executive producer, wanted to use the social networking site X to announce the daytime drama's cancellation. He goes on, "It is with a heavy heart that I announce the passing of my dear friend and colleague, Leslie Charleson." Valentini's tweet continues with the following: "Her enduring legacy has spanned nearly 50 years on General Hospital alone and, just as Monica was the heart of the Quartermaines, Leslie was a beloved matriarch of the entire cast and crew." Valentini concludes the post by adding that he would miss his daily conversations with Charleson, her quick wit, and wonderful presence on the GH set. He went on to say that on behalf of everyone on the drama, he sends his heartfelt condolences to Leslie's family during this difficult time. Charleson joined GH in 1977, but has not appeared on the show since December 2023 due to health difficulties. Unfortunately, Charleson has suffered several falls in recent years, preventing her from appearing on the drama and moving around. She did require a walker more lately, but it never dampened her spirits. The actress began her television career in 1964 with a recurring role on the show A Flame in the Wind, but she also worked on film projects and starred in a number of primetime shows, including GH, over the years. Monica Quartermaine saw many ups and downs during the course of her 4 decades. Sure, she won the lotto by marrying into one of the town's wealthiest families, but there was some drama along the way. With being said, Charleston delves into some serious stuff, such as Monica's breast cancer survival, as well as her loss of 3 children and the love of her life, Alan Quartermaine, Stuart Damon. During her tenure as Monica, Charleson received 4 Daytime Emmy nominations for Outstanding Lead Actress. General Hospital teasers indicate that the show will likely begin to plan a large tribute show for Charleson in the coming weeks, as she had a huge impact on the soap and in the world of daytime drama. On behalf of everyone here, we send our heartfelt condolences to Leslie's family, friends, loved ones, colleagues, and fans at this sad time. A mother's desperation. Carly Spencer sat in her living room, shaking as she held a framed photograph of Michael. The photograph depicted happier days, a moment captured in the innocent of family joy. The commotion of the previous several days had frazzled her nerves, but when Diane Miller arrived unannounced with a judge's order, Carly felt her world begin to crumble. "Are you taking the children now?" Carly inquired, her voice barely above a whisper. Diane's tone was measured and forceful. "The court deemed it essential, Carly. With Michael in serious health and Willow refusing to agree to a custody arrangement, we need to assure Wiley and Amelia's safety." Behind Diane was Harrison Chase, a law enforcement officer whose presence emphasized the gravity of the situation. Beside him stood the Quartermaine nanny, her countenance a blend of sympathy and professionalism. Carly's heart plummeted as she realized that this wasn't a request, but an order. Willow's moral quandary. Across town, Willow Corinthos paced nervously in her small apartment. Martin Gray had come earlier with an offer she couldn't refuse. He would file for custody of Wiley and Amelia while Michael lay unconscious. "How are you even suggesting that?" Willow snapped, her voice filled with skepticism. "Michael is battling for his life. Do you want me to launch a legal battle?" Martin had leaned closer, his voice comforting yet firm. "Willow, you have to consider long-term. If Carly gets custody now, it will be much more difficult to reverse later. But if you're interested, I have another perspective we can look into." Martin's comments lingered in her mind as she attempted to concentrate. Willow's dissatisfaction reached a boiling point when Nina Reeves arrived with tea and unsolicited advice. "Nina, I cannot think about custody right now. My children are safe, but Michael, he is not," Willow continued, her voice shaking. Nina's expression relaxed. "You may not want to hear this, but Carly is not going to simply return them once she gets them. You need to fight. Surprising revelation. Martin's diligent study had unanticipated consequences, including the disclosure of Willow's legal power over Michael's medical decisions. Willow, as Michael's healthcare proxy, had the authority to decide on his treatment, which may tip the balance of power in her favor. Martin described this to Willow as a potential weapon. If Carly wants to take your children, use anything you have. She wants Michael to receive the greatest possible treatment, correct? You may make it clear, no treatment decisions until Wiley and Amelia are restored to you. Willow was split over the suggestion. Could she use Michael's health to regain her children? It seemed harsh, but the thought of losing Wiley and Amelia was agonizing. Tensions rise at GH. The hospital was a hotbed of troubled relationships. Willow arrived for an update on Michael's condition, only to be stopped by Jocelyn Jacks in the corridor. This is your fault, Joss snarled, her eyes burning. You're too wrapped up in your own drama to care about what Michael needs. Willow bristled. That is not fair, Joss. I love Michael and have been there for him every step of the way. Then start acting like it, Joss demanded before storming out. As Willow gathered her thoughts, a nurse approached with documentation documenting Michael's prospective transfer to a specialized facility. The nurse's casual reference of Willow's role as Michael's proxy confirmed her next steps. The confrontation. Later that evening, Willow confronted Carly in the hospital's private waiting area. Her hands gripped hard, and her voice was steady yet resolute. I know you've taken Wiley and Amelia, Willow said, piercing through Carly's defensiveness. And I know you believe it's best. But I am Michael's medical proxy, Carly, and I will not authorize any treatment or transfer until my children are restored to me. Carly's face turned pale. You cannot be serious. We're talking about Michael's life. And Wiley and Amelia are my life, Willow replied. I refuse to be separated from them while Michael fights for his. Carly, you have a choice, give me back my children or let Michael stay here. A mother's dilemma. Carly was faced with a hard decision. Denying Willow's requests jeopardized Michael's recuperation, but giving in may mean losing her grandkids forever. She turned to Sunny for advice, her voice shaking as she explained the problem. She's threatening to withhold treatment, Carly admitted. What should I do, Sunny? Sunny's expression hardened. You do what is best for Michael. Always. We will sort out the rest later. But Carly knew it wasn't that easy. The weight of her decision hung over her, reminding her that in Port Charles, family loyalty was both a strength and a curse. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.